everybody, and welcome to Ukraine Update here on the Shills, the show that won the Pulitzer Prize for our scientific proof and evidence that orc blood does grow the best sunflowers. Let's get into it, see who we got here on the team. We got our usual conspirators joining us here. We've got a new face here, and we've got a returning face and a very much returning face. So we got Jana from Project Konstantin, and as always, how's it going?
Good, and you?
Good, good. We've got Slavie in from her YouTube channel, Yurichenko. How's it going?
It's going great. I'm glad you got that.
Yeah, I know. It's good. See, it's because we're matching today. I was able to do it. We've got Secular Sekai in as always. How's you doing, buddy?
Hey, great.
Awesome. We've got retired U.S. Navy, our buddy Commander Lance McMillan. How you doing, pal?
Surviving.
Awesome. Returning guest of many appearances and somebody we hope keeps coming around. We got the mad journalist himself on the Ed podcaster, Phil Ittner. How you doing, pal? Good to have you back.
Good to be back.
Awesome. Returning again from last week, we've got our man on the lines there, Brit in Ukraine. How's it going, buddy? Staying safe, I hope?
All good here. Thank you.
Awesome. And joining us for the first time, fellow YouTuber, we've got Canti Ludan in. How you doing, pal?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for joining us. So you're the newest face here. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then we'll kick this show into high gear.
Not really much to say. I never really was a YouTuber. Just kind of fell into it because my love of Ukraine. Made a trip there, and everybody's like, you should stream. So here I am.
Good call. Awesome. Love it. So yeah, as last week, we are fundraising for Brit and Ukraine's optics fundraiser there. We've got the links. They'll be thrown out to you. Sorry about that. It wasn't a beer burp, but you still didn't want any part of it. So let's see here. Slavie, we'll start with yourself. Where do you want to start with today? News and happenings from the week. What's on your mind?
Oh my gosh. Well, we did just discuss it in the background. The Lithuanian woman that was wearing the Make Russia Small Again, and she got disqualified.
Mm-hmm. And then the entire Lithuanian team quit.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
So, yeah, we were just discussing. I think we should step it up, and all of us should start wearing Make Russia Small Again t-shirt, which, of course, says decolonize Russia.
Yeah.
It's going to happen either way, so.
Well, I've got a job to do in the merch store after the show, it seems, then, don't I? They'll be both printed and embroidered shirts ready for your...
You can put Zelensky meme, the one that he goes like this.
Yeah.
On it as well.
Good call.
Ah, that would be good, yeah.
That's good. Anybody else want in on that? What are y'all thinking?
Sounds good. I can wear it to the next protest.
Yeah.
In front of the Russian embassy. I'm sure they'll love that.
Well, listen, I mean,
maybe even give the ambassador one. I'm like...
Athletics is, there have been a couple of instances. There was the fencer who refused to shake hands. If you remember that incident. So I mean, it's not the first time this has happened.
But this is the first time that is not a Ukrainian. It was I think
that's a valid. Yeah, that's a very good point. But anyhow, regardless, I'm all for it. I want to see much more of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dancer is really prominent in Ukraine. Olga Karlin, she's pretty amazing. She's been on the covers of Vogue, and she's a great spokesperson for.
She has a Barbie doll. Did you know that?
Yeah, she has her own Barbie doll, and she's one of the very, very few that.
Yeah, and she donated for a fundraiser for like a friend of mine who has a clinic in. I'm not sure where. But they do rehab. They rehabilitate the soldiers. It's in Ukraine, and the place starts with a V, and it's not Vovchansk.
Lviv?
It's not Lviv. It's just out of Lviv. It's Bodro Clinic. It's
okay.
Yeah.
I've been to the. What's the really big one? The why am I gapping on it? It's the human.
Sorry, yeah, the superhuman.
The
I think
Superhuman
okay.
Center. There
Yeah.
it is. Thank you for
So
reminding me.
this
Those guys
is
are incredible.
this is in Novovolinsk, which is also close to Lviv, I think. And he works with, like, their clinic works with, like, like if you were to grade injuries between like light, medium, heavy, he works with light and medium because they kind of want to make sure that the guys they help are able to go back to work, basically. So and they do, it's amazing, yeah. And and the fencer gave the Barbie for a fundraiser for his clinic.
Oh, that's cool.
That is really cool.
Okay, Brit's just got his camera off for a second. I was just gonna pop a couple of questions at him. So we'll go to the next news thing. Phil, what's on your mind, man? What are you thinking?
Well, a couple of things. I mean, we got our show is being edited as we speak. I do a weekly interview show out of Kyiv that I've called On the Edge. And this week we have a wonderful guest, and I'm really, really hyped about it because she's great. It's Anna from Kharkiv.
Oh, yes, yes.
Who you may have seen recently on Piers Morgan tearing a bunch of Vatnik and ignorant jackasses, a new one, and she was just as good on my episode on my show as she was with Piers. So I was when I saw her going after what is it, Scott Horton.
Okay.
I said, yeah, gotta talk to her because she
I've
was
got
great.
someone
So
else.
there's that.
Yeah, she's got some fangs, eh?
Shoot it my way.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's absolutely got some fangs, and she's really articulate and a very good spokesperson. But what's on my mind here in downtown Kyiv is, of course, the Ashebny. And the threat of getting hit by Russia's latest little toy,
Yeah,
with a MIRV warhead that could really do some serious damage. And I without doxing myself, I live far too close to the Rada and the Parliamentary Palace in Maidan,
right.
For comfort's sake. Because if they hit us with that thing, it's going to be real serious bad damage in downtown Kyiv. So, we're very worried about that. And Putin has repeatedly said that his intent, the next time he uses this thing, is to go after the leadership. So that would be here. So
yes,
I got my run bag ready to go, which I haven't really worried about in months, and I've got my PPE. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I talk to the people around the corner at my little craft. I every day I go down and I get myself a little half-liter bottle of craft beer from my local market, and I'll grab a beer and I'll sit and I'll chew the fat with the guys. And the general attitude, I have to tell you, from these people, is that Russians going to Russians. Russians are going to Russian. They're going to whatever they do.
Yeah.
If they send this missile at us, I mean, that's what can we do? So there's a lot of bon ami. There's a bunch of we can't let these guys intimidate us or scare us, and we'll soldier on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it is concerning to me. So that's what's on my mind when I put my head down on my pillow in the evening is, am I going to wake up?
Yeah. Yeah. Very much
Like
so,
in Ukraine,
right?
baby.
Yeah.
Stay safe, Phil.
Very much.
Yeah.
We've got.
Thank you.
I
will, but what can you do?
Yeah. What can you do, right? You got to ride it out and just be as tough as you can, right? No
choice.
We've got Brit in Ukraine back here, and I wanted to turn to him here. I was wondering, Brit, in the background here, what are give us an insight. What gets you to head to Ukraine and join up and grab a gun and start fighting?
for saying it like that. I mean, it's quite personal to me. I mean, my grandmother, she lived with the Germans, obviously bombing Britain, and she had to leave her home, just like so many people in this country did. And, you know, out of respect for my family and their fighting history, I felt like I should come here, and I don't regret my decision, to be honest.
Good call. Good words. And speaking of Brit here, we'll get his links dropped. Fundraiser going on. You want to give us the lowdown on the fundraiser? What optics, right? I'm drawing a blank here.
No problem. Yes, I'm trying to raise money to purchase a thermal optic to help with my work. I think particularly at night time, it'd be a really good use, and I will put it to good use. So if anybody can help with that, I don't like to ask, but it would really be a big help. And thank you.
Well, we like to ask, so we're definitely asking. You know, if you want to use our Boom Boom Fund links, the money goes directly to him at the end of the show. His direct links are being dropped in the chat as well. You have freedom of choice here. The only thing that matters is getting the money to where it needs to go.
The only thing that matters is getting the money to where it needs to go. Whoa.
Okay, we're getting a weird echo out of Commander McMillan there. I'm gonna echo. What the?
It's the ghost of Christmas past.
Yeah. What's?
It's the ghost of Commander McMillan.
Yeah. What? Well, I don't know what just happened
He's
there.
muted. He muted himself.
Yeah. I'm
we
gonna
still-
reconnect his mic. It could just be a
Oh,
tech
mute.
issue. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you might be good now. You might be good. I just reconnected everything. I'm totally lost. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, you know, I've got a conversation topic we could discuss right quick because I'm interested on thoughts on this. Assuming my lag isn't too bad today. What I was going to ask is, so we've seen all the stuff with Armenia losing trust in Russia in terms of defense. We've seen the fall of Assad in Syria. Right now, things are up in the air. But, you know, I would say Putin's allies in the Republic of Georgia are the Georgian Dream Party, and we're seeing how that plays out right now. What other countries kind of have relied on Russia in one way or another for defense or propping up a regime that might be next to lose faith in them?
It's not really that they will lose faith, but Russia has been focused very heavily on the Sahel region and Northern Africa with Mali and Niger, and so there's almost like this kind of concern of you know, these Russian troops who have now left Syria or are leaving Syria, will they be going to Ukraine or will they be going to Africa? And I think that is like it's almost like a question or like a different way, I guess, of looking at it. It's like these guys that just left, these resources that have just been freed up, basically, where will they be going? Where in the world will they go and cause destabilization? Because I remember when, yeah, I guess that's another thing.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, that's one place. I mean, I know it's been a lot of like PMCs, private like
Yeah.
and other equivalents in Western Africa and the Sahel region. But yeah, I was like,
Well, their naval assets. Their naval assets have very few options left to them. They can't go up to Murmansk to the North Sea Fleet because, of course, now with Finland being part of the NATO alliance, that's tricky for them. They can't go to the Baltic for the very same reason. Obviously, they can't come to the Black Sea. So those ships have got to go to the Far East. They've got to go to Vladivostok. Now, does that mean that they would start exerting some sort of naval influence, against, harassing Japan or Taiwan? I guess it's possible, but certainly they can't just sit there off the coast of Syria loitering. They've got to go somewhere. So as far as the Russian naval assets are concerned, but then the commander would be more in tune with that than I would.
They can, in theory, remain
in the Med, and they can, do port calls at friendly countries. So, Egypt or Algeria or whatever, and they can refuel and reprovision there. But long term, they don't have access to maintenance facilities or anything. So they are going to have to do something with those ships.
Well, Russia, excuse me, Russia is negotiating with the new leaders in Syria to reclaim those bases. But the thing you have to watch out for is Syria was the layover point for Russia to access Africa.
Yeah.
So if they can't go into Syria, where else are they going to go to get that new layover point?
Right.
Well, if you saw how they were, the departure, that the kind of the wave goodbye that they got as they were leaving Syria. I don't know. I mean, you're right. I know that there is discussion about taking back Tartu. Is it Tartu or Tartus? Tartus. But I mean, I also know that there is no. I've been to Syria. There's not a lot of love for the Russians there, so I think it's going to be an uphill battle to regain that naval base. So, yeah, but you're right.
So
that might impede their Africa adventurism.
So I have a thought.
Maybe they go to Cuba.
Oh, yeah, possibly. I mean, that would be something that would be kind of more of a political scare tactic against
Venezuela.
US, political.
Yeah, they got buddies. They got
structure.
buddies in South America.
Venezuela.
So
I mean, the only other thing I could think of would be, and I don't know if they would do this. It's a hypothetical. Since North Korea has sent some troops, is sending troops for them into the meat grinder. Maybe more permanent stations, because they don't have to use their navy. They could just cross, from by land, send their army forces if they have permission to bolster North Korea. So I mean, that's not really that's like a small chess move, but that's something I could see as a possibility if they thought it would be beneficial. Won't actually drag them into a war they don't want. The Kremlin, I mean.
Yeah. Any Brit? Any talk of Syria amongst the troops or anything, or is it just more focused on directly what's in front of you?
Yeah, not really. Just focus on the day at hand and what we have to do when a task gets set with.
Yeah.
We don't really communicate politics. We just communicate what happens, and that's really about it.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, so what's like the most bizarre or unexpected skill you've ended up with during your time in the military?
I've gotten very good at sleeping. You come home tired and you just want to rest, and I enjoy it.
And complaining.
Right now, I can hear a drum getting shot. It's just background noise to me, really.
Soldiers do really well.
That's funny. I bet you can pretty much get to sleep as soon as you have a moment to do it, can't you?
Yeah, the ability to fall asleep anywhere and any time is a much needed skill in the military.
It would have to be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not like Mr. Bean, but it's very good.
Another one is eating quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I bet a meal can be done real quick just because you
It's
never
like
know how
that.
much time you have, right? Oh, I should do a few shout outs. So we got Joe Medley in. Big round of applause for Joe here. $100 direct donation in for Brit's Fund. Good shout, Joe Medley. Love it. Love it very much. Thank you so much.
Whoa. Thank you.
Totally. And we've got, let's see here. I know a tip came in, but this stupid service isn't giving it to me again. I just refreshed. And yeah, we got Dunk on You 23 in with a direct tip there through Stream Elements. Keep being super shillious. Slava Ukraine. Heroam Slava. Good words. I love it. Love it. We had Amonsky join as a new subscriber. Thank you very much for that. We've got some super chat action here. Petra Olsen, Swedish kroners, 129 of them, with love to Ukraine, and with love it will be put into the fund. We got Dunk on You gifting out 5 Shills memberships. Love it, Dunk on You. Thank you so much. Yvonne weigh in with a super sticker, the little fox doing bravo. I'm sure that's towards Joe Medley and his amazing donation there. Johnny Nedregard there with Norwegian kroners, 22 of them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is metal studs in Ukrainian winter tires legal? Oh, good question. Who knows?
Like chains?
I've never seen them.
My friend just put his on, but they're just winter tires. They don't have the studs in them.
Right. There's a lot of places in Canada you can't use them, but then some you can. Like if you're up in the Rockies, a lot of people have them, right?
South African pretending to know what you're talking about. Like, I've seen snow twice in my life, guys.
Yeah, you know, in
And
the,
once
You're,
you know-
you're
you know
actually
the-
allowed here in California, like in Big Bear, chains.
yeah,
Yeah.
Up in Tahoe in the Sierras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yana, studded tires.
But I've never
Think
seen
of
them
those-
here in Ukraine.
No,
But
eh?
then I have to admit, I haven't been. I haven't been looking. I'll keep my eyes out and get back to you.
Yeah. Yana, studded tires. Imagine those studs that the punk rockers used to put on their jackets sticking out of your tires, right? Yeah.
But why though?
It's just to stick through the ice and keep traction. When you-
Oh, got
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Although I think it just does more damage to the road, to be honest. I'm not really sure they're all that helpful. And let me get back.
Need any help on damaged roads though.
Yeah. It tears them apart. And then we had Petra Olsen in again with another direct super chat there. Swedish kroners, 129. Always happy to help a Ukrainian hero. Awesome. Love it, Petra. Thank you so much. In the fund it goes as well. So yeah, that was a successful little round of fundraising. I think I got another direct tip in as well. But once again, this service is about as slow as molasses. Yeah, $10 direct tip in from Heather Wiley in the chat there as well for Brit. So thanks, everybody. Huge, nice round of donations there. And I bet some of you have been putting some into Brit's fund directly as well. So thank you, and thank you again. Where do we go now? Let's turn to Brit here with a question. You know, within the unit, within what you're doing now, daily day, what would you say is like your favorite role to do? What, you know, besides making things go boom, I guess, or maybe that's the answer, but you know, what do you like the best? Are we not hearing him?
I'm not hearing him.
Nope, I think we lost audio.
Yeah, let me reconnect his mic. I'm not sure we're hearing you there, Brit.
Sorry,
Let me try this
about
again.
work or?
There we go.
Yeah,
now
there
we
we
got you. Okay, start again, buddy.
Hello?
Start again. We had an issue.
Yeah, my Starlink's having some problems. I'm just on the data at the moment. But yeah, did you mean about work or just
Yeah.
everyday life?
Well, let's call it both because work is most of your everyday life, I'm assuming. So let's just go right around the horn with life.
Yeah, well, like I said, I've gotten very good at sleeping. I do like training with my team. I like working with my team. When we're not training, we're resting. When we're not resting, we're probably working. And then, you know, it's the weekend. I go to church. I go to KFC. I go to the military shop. I just try to enjoy my time. I quite enjoy getting a latte, sitting on a bench and just enjoying the scenery, to be honest.
Do you get?
And then, you know, it's back to the week and start all over again.
Yeah. When you're on free time, do you get any chance to like talk to locals and, you know, like, you know, 1 second here. My son's dancing. I had a second part to the question,
really
but go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, maybe in the supermarket or something, but not really. No.
Do you have
Yeah, I mean,
do you have an MO?
I don't really
Do you
go
have
and
an
speak
MO?
to locals and stuff. You know, maybe a Dobrodnya has a day.
I think we have a synchronization issue with audio.
Do I have what, sorry?
Yeah, I know there's always a little bit of delay on the Starlink links.
Oh, I'm in the past here.
Do you have a specialization, Brett?
Yeah, it's very terrible. Yes, I serve in an assault unit. So we mainly just get tasks set around assaulting, infantry-based tasks, and yeah, anything really around that. And it's quite fast at the drop of a hat, really. There's not much of a heads up.
Yeah, good on you. That's a tough job.
Cass has a question for Brett.
Do we want to talk?
Now it's completely gone. Modern technology.
Oh man,
I'll
Dick walked away and everything broke.
Okay, so Cass has a question for Brett. She wants to know. She wants. Where is it now? Here. Whether how long you've been in Ukraine and whether you've gone home since then, and how long it took you to learn enough Ukrainian to get along in Ukraine.
Okay. I've been here for nearly 2 years. I went home last Christmas, and I came back, and really I learned a lot of important things just to help me get by, directions, asking for things, politeness, manners. I really learned that before I came here very fast, and then the rest followed just due to necessity, really, and particularly now having to work with my team. So.
Awesome.
We all got to remember that Brit's in the past right now, so we got to have the timing right when we want to do follow-up questions.
Yeah. I'm trying to solve that in the background right now. There's got to be a way around this,
I would say he's in the future, but in the past because he's in the future time.
I mean,
I don't know what's going on anymore.
I don't think anybody does, buddy. Okay,
where's Nick to rant about video? Where's Nick and Greg to complain about this? I mean, I know Phil is listed as Nick, but
oh yeah, I didn't notice that. What the hell's that all about?
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, you were moving him to Nick's hexagon when you were doing the layout.
I made a goof. I didn't even notice. Oh well, everybody has to be a dumb sometimes.
Well, I got some news.
Sure.
I got some news topics if we want to go over them. One is Italy. Oh, an ad popped up. Italy, ready to send a peacekeeping force to Ukraine. And not just Italy, we've had, conversations with other partners of Ukraine on this topic. I think France, Macron was the first to bring it up earlier, like a lot earlier this year. I guess, let's see here. The article says, Italy is ready to send peacekeeping troops to Ukraine as part of the resolution of the conflict. This was announced by Italian Defense Minister Guido Crosetto at a meeting with colleagues from European and North African countries in Madrid. And let me skip down here. Going past that, basically they just stated that whenever the time is right, they feel that they're ready to send troops for whatever that would look like as a peacekeeping, quote unquote peacekeeping mission. And then it talks about Poland and France. In addition, during his visit to Warsaw, the French president also discussed this issue with his Polish counterpart, Prime Minister Donald Tusk. but received a negative response. Any decisions on Polish actions will be made in Warsaw and only in Warsaw, and we are not planning any such actions at the moment, Tusk told the media after discussions with Macron. Nevertheless, the French side, in addition to peacekeepers, announced plans to send its own instructors to Ukraine to directly train the military. Which I find interesting because I would say Ukraine has soldiers with much more experience than any other country in Europe in this type of warfare at this point. So, anyway, thoughts on this, whether it be Italy or France or Poland, all of these differing statements on sending troops into Ukraine.
One of the issues that presents is that those are countries which have already shown a predisposition to favor one side or the other. So for an effective peacekeeping operation, you need a nation or nations who are seen by both parties as being impartial, as being neutral in the affair.
Right.
So that
might
be
particularly the Poles, putting Poles on Ukrainian soil would be not good. Not good. It would, given the history. I think that's a non-starter. My understanding that the French were not offering peacekeepers, but rather actually sending support troops that could do things like border control or logistics or something
Engineer
like that.
Support and stuff.
Right, exactly. So this talk of an Italian peacekeeping force, and the commander is absolutely right. As a European, or as somebody with skin in the game, I don't think the Russians would go for it. And it also presumes that there's going to be a ceasefire imminent, which I'm skeptical of, because I don't know if Putin can extract himself from this situation. He's got hundreds of thousands of men involved in a war effort. His 25% of his economy is based on war. So if he were to suddenly demobilize those hundreds of thousands of men, they would return to a country whose economy would be transitioning, because you don't turn it on like a light switch, turn it on and off like a light switch. So these hundreds of thousands of men would be returning, demobilizing, and going back to towns where they don't have jobs, many of whom will have PTSD, will have other specific needs that they're gonna have to have. So Putin is caught in a situation, I think, where he may not be able to stop the war for himself internally. He's in a catch-22.
Do you think it's a situation where all of these young men, especially those who are traumatized or even more disillusioned with their state, when they return home, will see like a huge resurgence or bolstering of the ultranationalist movement, those factions within domestic
100%.
Russian society? Yeah.
100%. Absolutely. So he's going to have that problem on his doorstep as well. He's in trouble. He's in deep trouble because he can't stop the war.
He dug himself a hole, shit on himself, and then started digging again. Seriously, this has got to be one of the most colossally stupid strategic moves any significant world leader has ever made.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say. We're lucky they're so fucking dumb.
So, this line of conversation has me thinking at some point, because it likely is not imminent, but when fighting does at some point stop, and there are more of these young men, these soldiers from Russia, who end up, trickling or flooding back into Russian society, what windows do you think this would make for Ukrainian intelligence to be able to make use of that in terms of hybrid warfare, in terms of destabilization from within on the Russian side?
Sorry, I just heard Windows in Russia and...
Oh no!
There's something...
Anyone would like some tea?
There's something that you also have to
Damn
consider.
it! Oh no! And I had a good point too.
No, it was a good question, but I just heard windows in Russia, and I was like,
In addition to all the
Oh,
troops
gotcha.
coming home from the lines, you're also likely to have a significant number of people who fled to avoid getting sent to the front, returning home when the war ends. And those two groups are going to loathe one another. So you're going to have a lot of trouble maintaining peace in Russia once those two groups start confronting each other.
Mm.
What about your guys, Brit? Do they even talk about going home, a ceasefire, and going home? Is that something that they see as a reality or coming up? Because obviously, it's lots of folks talk
We
about.
don't really talk about how we want to see the war end, other than obviously wanting territories back, but mainly amongst everybody who I've spoken to the last 2 years, even to now, everybody just wants to go home to their wives and be with their families, really. Nothing more or less with it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
That's what I hear too. That's what I hear too, mostly. But do they think that a ceasefire is possible in like the next, who knows, few months, couple months, whatever?
I don't know. I think America's terms aren't our terms, and Russia's terms aren't ours or America's terms. I think there'll be a really tough time trying to make us listen.
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say, but I just had to
Agreed.
ask.
I couldn't imagine a different response. I mean, right?
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Yeah. A couple of shout outs here. Now, I've got a direct donation in through PayPal for Brit's fundraiser here. Christmas present for the Brit. Let's get the optics under his tree. And it's $130 direct donation, but it has the person's real name without a YouTube username.
Thank you.
Yeah, so somebody please take credit for this so we can give you the proper shout out and credit you deserve. I just don't want to dox somebody's real name unless that was what you intended. I'm not really sure, right? Okay, Kaz.
Well, I can see all the people who send me donations, and I do reply to all of them.
Cool. Kaz in the chat, capital KAS, said, yeah, that's me. Okay, I really thought it was you just because of what I'm seeing and so on. So awesome, Kaz. Huge shout out. Right on. See, I knew not to do that. You see, I've done this a couple of times, right? Let me just get back into my mode here. We've got UTV and Ham in the chat coming as well with a $15 direct donation in there for the Boom Boom Fund fundraiser for Pete here. Awesome, or for Brit, sorry. Awesome. Yeah, I think old habits there, Jana. Did you hear that one? And I've got
at least he's here he's still on the show.
Yeah, exactly, right? Oh yeah, the spirit of that man lives on big and large. Man, we've also got Yvonne Way with a shout in the chat there with Slava, Ukraine, and all the appropriate hearts and flags. Amazing. And we got SSW Custom Sewing in as well. Please, folks, make Jana and Slavie smile. Thank you.
Donate to Project Konstantin. I'll smile a lot.
Yeah, get over to Yurichenko at Yurichenko on YouTube and sub, and you'll see a grin on her face.
Slavie and we'll smile.
Yeah.
Yes, please subscribe. I'll be smiling very big.
Very much so. Speaking of which, let's get Canti's links in the chat there as well, because we can do some sub padding, we'll call it, some shilling. We're kind of known for that around here. Let's get the links in as well. Awesome. I think I'm caught up on shout outs, so yep, I can be quiet for a second. Go ahead.
I have a cool story. Google is not paying Russians IT and app creators anymore.
Yeah.
So
they cut AdSense off entirely, right? So anybody who made money through Google, you're shit out of luck.
We got to get OnlyFans off.
Bobby's like, yeah, I'll get that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all, because didn't Russia put like a fine on Google that was more money than exists in the world or something?
Yeah, the gajillion.
Yeah, just hand us the earth in its entirety and we'll call it even, shall we? It's just morons.
I've got
Um,
something. Oh,
I
go
remember
ahead.
actually remember when right at the start of the full-scale invasion, when all your big there was a time when all your big cosmetic brands pulled out of Russia and stuff, and now they're like still doing some things there, but like under different names. But when they just pulled out first, my Ukrainian tutor was telling me that all these Russian influencers were reviewing like beauty products from L'Oreal and all these fancy stuff, and all of a sudden they're here like, this is Crystal and some other Russian cosmetic brand, but like cheap drugs or like the cheapest stuff, and they're reviewing this. It's so good for your skin, and look how smooth my skin is. And she was telling me it's hilarious because every single person knows that brand. It's a Russian brand, and it's shit. This influencer lost all her beauty sponsors. Now she's here like, need to make content with her crappy Russian products.
I did notice my Instagram pushes a lot of the Russian prostitutes in my page. I don't know why, but they just do. They're all prostitutes. But anyways, a lot of them, they do this like weird Russian makeup. And it's like, come on, we know what it is.
Yeah, because they can't find the other stuff. It's not available. So they're like...
They start applying it, and you can see them wincing in pain because it literally hurts.
You know what this is making me remember? Way back, I think it was in 2022. It was shortly after the war started when McDonald's pulled out of Russia.
Yeah.
And they replaced it. What was it called? Yeah, there's like
Vkusny Tochna. Tasty period.
Tasty period. Yes, that thing. And and I remember I'm pretty sure it was not well received.
Well, what happened was with that, I love that story.
Knockoff brand.
Right, and I love that story because when they first took over all the franchises and turned them into Tasty Period instead of McDonald's, they kept the stock. They kept the original stock, and they tried to use it for as long as they possibly could while they revved up their own domestic. And so you started getting customers coming up with like clearly like Big Mac, and it's got just green mold all over the bun, and they're like, look at this shit. So yeah, I mean, to say the sanctions haven't had any effect, but we still need to beat them up. But yeah, I remember that too.
I'm just so grossed out by that image of moldy. Because isn't that the one thing they always tell us? Like, McDonald's is so unhealthy, it will never expire.
Yeah.
So how bad?
Only the Russians can figure out how to make McDonald's mold, for fuck's sakes, right? Nobody else can.
By the way, isn't Russia running out of potatoes?
Story that reminds me of is
heard that story too. Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Oh, Russia's running out of potatoes. Wow. Yeah.
Sekai, you're like 6 seconds behind us, dude. Just refresh and rejoin. This is it's beyond stupid now.
And the only way to get one potato takes 2 potatoes to get 1 potato. So.
Yeah. It's funny. How do you run out of potatoes when all you have to do is pick 100, cut a bunch into chunks, plant them, repeat? It's just
because the whole country is shit. There's no plumbing. The whole thing is
there's no good soil.
There's no soil. It's just food.
The soil's here. The good soil's here.
Yeah.
Not there. They've got very isolated areas where they can do agriculture worth a damn. The agriculture that sustained the Soviet Union was here. So it's fucking permafrost. There's nothing east of the Urals that's worth anything except ripping it from the ground and raw minerals and shit like that. They can't grow anything 8 months out of the year because it's permafrost.
Yeah.
So Phil, are they a net importer of food now?
I would not be terribly surprised. I mean, I can't give you a definitive on that, Commander, but I mean, I would not be terribly surprised if they are importing. Look, they have to, the only way, one of the breaches in the sanctions has been India, right? Yep. So, but the Indians have made restrictions on their oil purchases, in that you can only spend the rupees that they give for the Russian oil in the Indian market. So that might be a way for them to work around. We're going to sell you a bunch of oil, and the Indians say, great, but you can only spend the money here. And so rice, basmati rice, all the chickpeas galore, but I don't know if they're in. Yeah.
India has its own food shortage
The
problems.
Russians are going to love the Russians are just going to love like a vindaloo, because their palate is so so accustomed to spicy foods like that. But are they a net importer? That I can't answer. But I am sure that it's disproportionate now, because again, their land is shit. Most of their land is shit. That's why they want this place.
But I'm not sure. Don't
Or at
remember
least in
what
part why
produce
they
they
want
make.
this place.
But the South African farm,
Oh,
they
yeah,
say
South African
they
market or the Brazilian market.
No, they say they own the specific producers say they only export to Russia. And I'm like, why are you saying that? Now I want to go do stuff to you that I can't say. Like, because you can't use the B word, apparently.
China, I'm sure they're getting some food from China. Although China has to support the DPRK, so
they're getting
because
food from North
their food
Koreans.
production is great.
Well, North
Remember
Koreans.
there was
but,
a story where somebody
billion
made
starving
them only
Norks.
in Mandarins.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of Ukraine and
Okay.
Ukraine said that they're ready to help Syria with food and doing the grain
saw
from
that.
Ukraine program.
Yeah.
Well, they already helped with the drones
Ooh,
during overthrowing
making
Assad,
moves.
so why
Yeah.
not? Yeah, no, they're very savvy.
Yeah.
Ukraine is doing a really good job with that.
Oh,
yeah. Step right in and start
Wait,
making good,
wait.
right? No, yeah.
Wait. So I'm curious. Are they talking which are they talking with all, or which factions are they talking with?
Yeah.
Somebody that has a phone near the border.
I would bet you, Sky, that they're not going to publicize that much.
His name's John, but I'm not going to
Yeah,
give you
that's
his
true.
address.
Every guy with a cell phone in Syria is his own faction.
Right. Fair point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming it's probably not the ones that Turkey was backing. It's probably either the Kurds, or even if they don't fully align with them, the larger religious faction that wasn't as extreme as some of the others.
Yeah. We got Brit back. How's it going? Back and connected?
Yeah.
I'm good. Starlink just appeared. Thank you, Elon Musk. On the better things he's done.
Don't thank him. He doesn't need it.
Yeah, if anybody's going to fuck something up, it's that belly shaking, dancing moron.
Can we just agree that
Pros and cons,
can you
pros and
take him
cons.
back? Okay. Can you, Canada,
No,
please take him back?
What?
No. We don't want him. Everyone says he should come to South Africa. His family left Canada because they were
For
more
Canada.
aligned with the apartheid regime. So
Yeah,
let's take
I was
him
just
back.
going to
because
say
he's
that's
not
why he
ours.
left Canada.
No, he can tell him to show up in Buffalo and swim for Toronto. If he makes it, he can stay.
There's a great comedic podcast. There's a comedy podcast out there called The Dollop, and I don't know if anybody's familiar with it. But if you want to laugh and learn about how bizarre Musk's history is, check out their deep dive into.
Yes.
It's called The Dollop, like a dollop of sour cream in your borscht, and they talk about this guy. Do you know his ancestry believed in technocracy, and that instead of people having names, they should have barcodes. And yeah.
And his son's name, I guess.
THX 1147.
Exactly. This is not a coincidence.
None of that surprises me, and he's still not the most insane person Trump is rubbing shoulders with. Just look at RFK Jr.
By the way,
Yeah.
speaking of Elon Musk,
Tulsi's the one that scares me most.
Yeah.
yeah,
Slavie?
same here.
Slavie?
Speaking of Elon Musk, I'm not sure if he got indicted yet for
Yeah, SEC, right? Yeah.
yes, and DOJ too are going after him for security fraud, nonetheless.
Yeah. So great person to put in charge of some government stuff. Oh, we voted another one in anyway, or you guys did. Yeah, something. Never mind.
I say it's the beginning of the end for him with this.
You know,
It's got to be.
No, because you'll get pardoned by
I will
master.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I will laugh though. I will laugh if a decent portion of these oligarchs in the US end up getting put away like Al Capone just because of taxes for some reason or another.
That's
You have a lot more faith in the system than I do.
Yeah.
Fair point.
That's funny.
But as long as we're talking about Trump and the transition team, let me pick your brain, Commander. And I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad to get access to you. No, too late. Sorry. As a logistics man, we got 5 weeks. The Biden administration is clearly trying to get as much stuff out as possible, as quickly as possible. I was in Kuwait in the run-up to the Iraq invasion. I saw with my own 2 eyes what the U.S. military is capable of doing when they want to move mass quantities around the world.
Thank me for that. That was my plan.
Well, thank you very much. My DFAC was probably filled with food because of you.
Slow, my friend.
Sorry, Britt, what was that?
So all the aid seems to be so slow, but they expect to move things so fast in case of war. It's kind of ridiculous. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Are you guys not seeing it on the ground there?
I'm sorry?
Deliveries, are you getting? I'm wondering if you're seeing stuff getting delivered, Brett, or not.
Yeah, it's just
okay.
A very long time ago.
Are we losing connection?
There it is.
Yeah, I think his connection.
We started talking about Musk.
Jeff Bezos, send us Project Quipper. Save us from Starlink.
Say something nice about Elon.
Yeah.
Well, you have to remember that
his hair transplant was so good. Elon's hair transplant is just the best. I mean, and his jawline. I mean, that jawline surgery really worked.
He's looking really in shape these days.
I know, so in shape. Let's hope.
He looks like he ate the Cybertruck, but.
Speaking of
well, we got you back.
transition
we got you
and
back. We kind of lost you there. Damn it.
No, he's in. He's in.
Are you there?
Yeah, he's in.
Are you seeing? Are you getting stuff? Is stuff being delivered?
Might take him a second to sync up with us.
It's just
no. That's just him turning his camera off, though. He's not lost us. He is still in the room. I think it's just his system just settling in as he joins, getting used to the latency and trying to figure it out.
Well, let me see if I could fill in some of the information here, because what a lot of what's being sent is HIMARS rockets, Patriot missiles, and artillery shells. So the main people that are going to see those shipments are the rocket people, the artillery people, the air defense. So
missiles and rockets will be getting through fairly quickly. They just put them on planes and fly them over. If you're talking bulk items like artillery ammunition, that isn't going to be flown. That'll be put on a ship and sent over. So that'll take time. There was also some talk of, quote, hundreds, unquote, of vehicles being sent. Again, that's bulk cargo. That's going to have to go by ship, so it'll take time.
Can Trump stop it?
In theory, yes, but once stuff is actually in motion on the way, it becomes very tough to do that.
Yep, that was my impression as well. I just wanted to, I wanted to have my fears allayed because, that's my assessment as well as a civilian looking, as a military journalist looking at the outside in. Because I would never profess to say I'm a service member, but I've spent enough time around militaries to know that once a ball starts rolling, once the chain of command and all the things, it's very, my impression is very hard to stop. I want to see every damn Bradley we've got mothballed sent over here because I owe my life to a Bradley in Baghdad. I was inside of Bradley in Baghdad, and we got hit with 7 RPGs in Sadr City, and we rolled out. We didn't, yep, those things are fantastic, and I know the Ukrainians love them, not only for their survivability, but that Bushmaster and the TOW can, the 2-TOW anti-tank missiles can really lay down some heavy fire. So I'm hoping we send, before Trump gets into office, one of the things I'd love to see Biden do is just send every frickin' Bradley we've got. The Abrams should never have come here, but the Bradley, that's a great piece of kit. And I know the Ukrainians love them. I don't know, Brit, if you run into Bradley crews out there, but it's my impression they're pretty fond of them.
We have a pretty nice Humvee for us, though.
Oh, cool.
A good Humvee. Yeah.
Cool.
The Third Assault Brigade just released a story like 3 or 4 days ago about a soldier that was stuck in a disabled Bradley for 6 days on the front line.
Wow.
They are such good pieces of kit. They are so freaking good. I just love Mia Bradley. I love Mia Bradley.
After the changes were made to it.
Yeah, the M2, it was the M2A2. Is it the second version or the third version?
Yeah, the initial ones that came out weren't very. If you want to really amuse yourself, see the movie Pentagon Wars. It's more, it's a comedy movie, but it's based in fact. In fact, it was so accurate that they used it as a training aid when I was attached to the DoD Inspector General's office.
I know the PAO who was attached to that film.
Yeah.
I've got a question on something that hasn't really been discussed at all recently, I don't think. But with everything that's happened with other wars and potential things that can distract from Ukraine and the Middle East, Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, do we have any expectation of violence breaking out again in a big way in Iraq? After everything that's just happened in Syria? With all the Iranian influence, and Iran probably be a little freaked out right now?
Well, I can speak to that a little bit. I was assistant bureau chief for CBS News in Baghdad, so I have some Iraq experience. I mean, look, one of the major questions in Iraq was about federalization, whether or not you would break up into different ethnic groups. Obviously, with Syrian Kurds and Iraqi Kurds in Kurdistan, there could be alignments there that would, trouble Baghdad. And you point out the Shia in the south and say the Mahdi army, Muqtada al-Sadr and his guys, they may look to consolidate their control over that because, again, if it does head down the road of federalization, the Sunni contingent out west, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But my concern is more about internally inside Syria. I mean, this is all the result of Sykes-Picot. This is all the result of a French and a Brit carving up the Ottoman Empire, using a ruler on a map. These ethnic groups should not be together. So we're going to have to see how Syria shakes out. But one point I do want to make about Syria that I think will affect what we care about most here in Ukraine is that now I recognize I may be getting over my skis a little bit here because we have to have Syria settle down. But if Syria does settle down and it is a stable country, we can build a pipeline directly from Saudi Arabia through Jordan, a strong ally to the West and to America in particular, through Jordan into Syria, through Western Syria, straight up into Turkey. And we have a direct gas pipeline now. The potential for that happening if Syria settles in a favorable way, and that means we don't need Nord Stream 2. We don't need Russian gas at all. That narcotic, that we are going to go from one drug dealer
that's
to another.
true, but
The potential. I'm not saying it's not
well,
crystal
yeah,
ball.
true,
I'm
but
just
then
saying,
no. Oh no, I see what you're saying. That makes logical sense. And we'll get back on Ukraine in one sec. The only issue I see with that would be then that's handing more political influence to Saudi Arabia than it already has over the West economically. You know,
I think
you
we'd
know,
rather
all
Saudi
that coming
than
directly from
Russia.
them. So,
yeah, I'm pretty laser focused on this. So I get what you're saying,
fair
and you're
point.
right. I have no love for the House of Saud, but I'd rather that than Putin.
Oh, the Wahhabis. No. Yeah.
One of my friends was just
fair
like,
point.
they bought his favorite football team in the UK, so he's okay with the Saudis now.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is the weirdest geopolitical output. Who helped my football team?
Honestly, I'd much rather the Saudis than
professional
Russians have
sports.
anything.
Wow.
Well, I think there's an opportunity if Venezuela gets its head out of its. Well, never mind. Venezuela could be a major player in the oil industry if they got their act together.
Don't they have the most oil out of anyone, I
Oh
believe?
yeah, they could outproduce Saudi Arabia if they actually were able to produce. So, let's stop looking at Middle East and start looking, South America, because they have tons of resources that just has not been tapped.
Yeah. And I'm sure they'd like a few bucks for them.
Whatever gets the Europeans off of Moscow's teeth.
Yeah.
If it's Venezuela, fine. If it's the Saudis, fine. But the temptation for Europe to pressure Ukraine to accept an unjust peace because they want that tap turned back on, that's a problem. Okay? So we need to find an alternative to that. And if Syria falling means that we can build that pipeline that I mentioned, a big if, admittedly, or if Venezuela takes up the slack, or if Trump's drill baby drill does it, I don't care.
Yeah.
What we cannot have, and I think even the Germans are kind of starting to realize this, is that you cannot let Moscow dictate this because they will use it as a weapon. So whatever it is to get away from reliance on Russia for fossil fuels, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a graphic I saw yesterday that said that European countries paid Russia more than 204 billion euros for fossil fuels in the past year, which is the equivalent of over 1 million Shahid drones.
The episode I did with Bill Browder, he spoke about this, and it just made me so angry.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. Like, there's this. I think I was
them with one hand and you pay them with the other.
Yeah.
And I think I was speaking to. I DM'd Commander on this the other day. I was like, okay, how do you stop? Like, because Russia's shadow fleet, we all know it's going on. That they're using. They have their shadow fleet, and that's how they're able to continue to do a lot of their work.
Yeah.
And I mean, Commander can tell you guys what he told me, because I'm not smart enough to sound as smart as he does by copying him. But it basically, there's very little, like from what I could tell, like very little that the world can do that you can do to enforce that. Yeah. Commander, that was your cue to talk cool stuff about flags. And
You did a really good job of summarizing what I said.
Okay, just know when Commander said it sounded way smarter. Okay.
Shout out here. We got Baltar in the chat. By your command. Little Battlestar Galactica joke there. $25 direct donation in here for Brit in the Scope. Slava, Ukraine. Here, Slava. Lovely shout out. Thank you so much. Well said. And we've got, there was another thing here that the one service tried to show me there was something new. And then I refreshed the page to see it and it's gone. So if there is one I missed. $3.33 tip in from SSW Custom Sewing. Drop this in the Boom Boom Fund. Thank you for supporting Ukraine, everybody. Our pleasure. I just wish we could do. I wish we were all billionaires doing this fundraising stuff, but if only, right?
How close are you to your target, Brit?
Probably about 10, 15 miles to the start.
No.
Oh, fucking! I thought you meant
the money. You're how much?
Let me 1,500, and after tonight it'll probably be around 1,200 pounds.
Yeah, we're closing in on 300 here. I think it is. I was just going to log in and see there, but I tried to use the wrong browser that doesn't have the thing saved. Hold on a minute, I'll get a number here in a second.
Can I jump in here, because there's a question that's been to anyone that's in Ukraine or on the front lines. How do you guys have any comments on North Koreans fighting in Kursk?
I'm looking up a way to send you some money, Brit.
Witnessed them myself. I heard they work in the most northern part, but I'm still yet to see them.
I know Viper might know, because him and I we've joked about it. So I don't know if he's seen them, but I know he's I think it like world travels,
I've seen that there's a lot of them. I mean, not with my personal eyes, but people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe they're working in the most northern part of Kursk. I've worked in different areas, so maybe that's so they don't cross territory so fast. But I'm still yet to see them.
Are they actually? I mean, we know that they're being used as a cannon fodder, but is this actually helping Russia, or?
Yeah, I mean, it frees up people, and if anything, it adds to the people they already have, and it gives them time to find more soldiers and relocate people. Definitely a good favor for them. But
I mean, it's also I think it's
how
also
are they
a thing
as soldiers? Have you heard? Like their quality?
Sorry?
I was just going to ask, how are they as soldiers?
No, I'm not really sure. I know a lot of news, we're talking about communication, but surely they must have been learning Russian for a long time. I know they have a lot of deals between the two countries, and I don't think they would have been so stupid. They're with each other. They do work together.
Yeah, the accounts I've heard is that they're not particularly good, but they're better than the Russian troops from that period when they were literally mobilizing people and sending them to the front with less than a week of orientation training.
So just on the Koreans, that's a very weird way to talk about them. But front Blonde Bombsheller obviously knows Piper a bit more. She said he will definitely know some more info on the North Koreans, and he will be on Greg's stream sometime soon. I guess when he's back from wherever he needs to get back from.
Yeah, killing
But,
orcs.
Yep.
I mean, yes.
That's what he does.
So,
The command control and integration issues with them are quite significant, particularly because one of the earliest long-range ATACMS strikes took out a headquarters that had majority of the senior-most North Korean officers in it, which means the problems they already had are now made worse.
Wonderful. I love that.
So, I've got a piece of news I could bring up right quick, and then I'm probably going to have to hop off to take care of something. But it's actually Canada, USA, and Ukraine related. So let me go pull
Must
it up.
have something to do with wheat then.
No, it has to do with armored vehicles.
Oh.
So, Canadian manufacturer Rochelle Defense Solutions has launched production of armored vehicles in the United States. This is reported by Defense Blog. It's on mil.in.ua, Ukrainian news site. The company's first plant in the United States was opened in Shelby, Michigan, as part of the expansion of its production. The opening of additional production facilities follows the announcement of the start of production of 2 new models of armored vehicles, Senator Medical Evacuation and the Captain. This is the defining moment for Rochelle. It has been a long journey to get here, but now we're ready to serve the U.S. market with products proudly labeled Made in USA, Roman Shimonov, Rochelle CEO, commented. And the reason I bring this up is because this particular Canadian company, this plant will also produce the Senator MRAP armored vehicle, which has received many positive reviews from the Ukrainian Defense Forces and is being actively used in the war against Russia. So this is a Canadian company that has
they've already been sending stuff up they've been making in Montreal area in Quebec, right? Yeah,
exactly. And so I find it really interesting seeing that integration there, because to the best of my knowledge, they're still going to be selling more to Ukraine. So seeing them open up a new plant in the U.S., I just wanted to hear your thoughts on this, Dick, and if you think it's a good sign of, Canadian and U.S. defense contractors wanting to collaborate to help Ukraine.
I hope it really speeds up the purchasing process so that Biden's earmarked money can just simply be spent on home soil. And there we go. We've got stuff going over. I would like to see the speed of operations pick up due to this. And other than that, I mean, just more places making them means more opportunity to get these things into the right hands, right?
Oh yeah.
And as a Michigander, I mean, it's Motor City, baby.
I was just going to say, if anybody can tool up and make it happen, it's Detroit, man.
I know I was partly raised in California and partly raised in Michigan. My family was from Michigan. And we have a cottage in upstate Michigan where kind of all these executives from the auto industry go. If they want to start cranking those things out, they can start cranking them out. So that is great news. That is great news, and great news for the state of Michigan as well. By the way, Brit, I just threw you a few squid. Hope it helps.
Awesome.
Did you say quid or squid?
I heard squid.
Cockney rhyming slang.
I've heard about the Cockney rhyming stuff. That is the weirdest stuff ever.
What is it?
It's like people from Cockney in the UK that just speak weird.
Yeah.
Cockney. Okay.
They're called Welsh.
I don't have a clue. Turns into I don't have a Scooby Doo. what's another? I mean, there's thousands of them.
It's like
Uh,
pig
it's
Latin
turns
for
into strawberry
like-
tart.
it's pig Latin for drunk people, right?
No, it was a way. It was a way for the Cockneys to talk amongst themselves, so the cops couldn't understand what they were saying.
Yeah.
Literally.
So
Literally.
just intentionally introduce a bunch of malapropisms into
Yeah, like what's the
If you want a really good example of it, go watch the movie Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
I love that
or
movie.
wife is my trouble and strife. You know, what trouble and strife, wife.
That's just descriptive, though.
Got me rhyming thing. So anyhow, I threw you a couple bucks, but I'm with Sky. I think I have to bounce as well because we were without power for a while, and I've got a load of laundry. I should probably get started while we've got power. So
No worries, dude. No
as
worries.
always, it's a pleasure talking to all of you.
Yeah,
Yeah, Commander, thank you for allaying my fears because I am. That's one of my greatest concerns is that that Trump is going to find some way to obstruct the delivery of some of these weapon systems and ammo in particular.
He could do it still, but I figure he's got so much other stuff on his plate with transition as soon as they take over that every day that passes, it's harder and harder to call it back.
Yeah.
And Brit, you stay safe out there, and I will. I'll hop on another time.
Yeah, buddy. I'll be chatting with you in the background and whatnot. Keep in touch, and we'll be talking soon for sure.
Absolutely.
Awesome, pal.
Absolutely.
Later, Phil.
Oh, but guys, tomorrow's episode of On the Edge drops 8 p.m. Kyiv time, which I think is 1800 GMT, and I believe 10 a.m. Pacific. It's a good one. It's with Anastasia from Kharkiv, who tore that bullshit panel on Piers Morgan's, a new asshole by giving him some good, strong, hard truths. And she's just as good on the episode. So
Cool.
Check it out. It's on my channel, Philip Ittner on YouTube. And if you'd be so kind as to spread the word, it'd be great. She was really good.
Yeah.
She was really good.
I'll
I'm
definitely be
I'm
watching
excited
it.
to get this. No,
She's
she was
awesome.
great. She is so articulate, and she's got it spot on. So we talk a lot about being, the media landscape. We talk about the situation in Kharkiv. We talk about big picture Ukrainian stuff. So lots of meat on the bone. So I hope you'll watch it and enjoy it. And that's not the only reason I came on tonight, because it's lovely to see you all, but certainly trying to spread the word. So
Awesome.
Take care, everyone. Britt, I hope you get that scope. All right. See you guys.
Take care,
Bye.
buddy.
Hey, Phil. Yep, and I'm also gonna pop off. I've got emails and files I need to finish working on and other stuff.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, so much fun. Someone shoot me.
Admin. Yeah.
All right, stay safe, Britt. Good to see y'all, everybody, and see you next week.
Take care, man. See you soon.
All right. Later.
Nice, okay.
All right.
Take care.
So, once again, big shout out to everybody that's contributing here on Britain Ukraine's fundraiser here. We seem to be doing an okay job. Maybe we can get a little bit more in before we get wrapped up.
I have a cool thing to say.
Okay.
Helena's not watching. She got her master's degree yesterday
Oh, wow. Cool.
in psychology.
Congrats.
Yeah. She after being a civil engineer for years, she was like, I'm going to go study psychology again. And she got her master's degree yesterday. So I'm so proud of her.
Cool. Awesome. And it didn't even come from a Cracker Jack box. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I think this past week was up and down for her because she got word that her cousin was killed.
Oh, yeah.
And then on Friday, she got her master's. But yeah. And it's her, this cousin's brother was killed 6 months ago. So.
Wow.
So I think it was a very up and down week for her. you know.
Must have been.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a roller coaster and a half.
Yeah.
Very much so. Well, at least there was a happy ending in the master's degree, although that's not going to make up for loss or anything. But, you know, congratulations, though. That's not something that you just wake up one day and decide to do. That's, you know, dedication and effort, and good on you.
I'm like, I don't know how she does, because she's like, obviously she's director of BK. She works for another charity, and she has a teenage daughter.
Yeah, I don't get that either. You know, does she have like some kind of weird metallic skeleton and like a alien power cell, and she just doesn't sleep or something?
No, you have to, good.
You know, little Rick the Ukrainian in her, you know, and she doesn't really seem to need rest. It just go, go, go.
Nick, you have to realize women's superpower in this world is the ability to multitask 1 billion times better than men.
Oh, yeah. I can do 15 things at once, but nothing gets done. Like, I don't solve anything. The place is just a disaster after, because I'm in the middle of 9 projects, you know. That's, yeah. But let's never mind my faults. Let's move on here.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. Anything over there I have to do? No. Okay. Yeah. We're all clear here. There was a couple of questions. I'm totally in the wrong place, but I will get caught up here. Hold on. There was, where are we here? MJ up north. Didn't Musk have to rename his kid X because he originally came up with some unwritable and unspeakable name?
Wasn't it like XR2OBO or something?
Yeah, I mean, I heard somewhere that it was like and I think in Nevada you can't have like just a bunch of numbers and stuff. You should be able to pronounce it. So they had him registered as, and they told the Musk family that. They were like, nah, screw it. So they just picked the top most common name in the state, and like that's on his birth certificate.
Wow.
Yeah, Jack or John or something like that.
Wow. Why do some of these weirdo celebrities do this stuff where they have to outdo everyone else and come up with an even stranger name for their child? Don't you people think of the child and how this is all going to go down for them?
I think it was like, what was Gwen Stefani or Christina Aguilera, or one of those two
dipshits. Yeah.
Apple.
And then the one named their child Zuma at the time when South Africa's president was Jacob Zuma, and like the guy got elected after still having a whole bunch of like cases against him, criminal charges against him. And I'm like, you're naming your kid Zuma. I know. Like, I was watching this year's election. I'm like, cool, you guys elected a guy who's been accused of rape and corruption.
Well done.
It's literally, we did that in South Africa a few years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like American politics.
Yeah. Well, in Canada, in Ontario, they seem to like crack addicts to be the premier with the Ford brothers. So, you know, that's, you know.
I did like the Rob Ford song.
Yeah.
I have the names here. It's XA812 Musk, and then he has a Exa Dark Side Real Musk, and Techno Mechanicus Musk are the weirdest Elon Musk kids' names.
That sounds like a line of scented condoms, you know? Fuck.
I mean, I'll take you as the expert on that one.
Oh, God.
Chris is like, you don't barcode your kids?
MJ up north, look at what you started here.
Playing Frank Zappa for naming his kid Moon Unit.
Yeah, exactly. I do believe. Yeah, it's totally Zappa's fault with Dweezil and Moon Unit, man.
Then you understand why his kids hate him.
Totally.
They're old enough.
Yeah.
Did you see after the CEO got shot, the insurance CEO, Elon Musk started bringing his kid on his shoulders to work. So using his kid as a shield.
Yeah, Muscovite for him is so fitting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sarah in the chat, is Musk's mother his aunt or sister? There would be some explanations in that.
Yeah.
We had another question in here. SSW Custom Sewing in the chat. Is Russia currently shipping all the white asbestos they mine to places like India and Pakistan? Like, hasn't sanctions and asbestos and what? Like, how is that even still an industry? I have no clue. I'd have to look that up. And
in a country where you don't have really strict regulations for, health and welfare and that kind of stuff, let alone enforcement of said regulations, asbestos does its fire retardant job and people are happy with it. I think that's the way to look at it.
yeah.
And who cares if workers die from mesothelioma or whatever it is?
Yeah. Or, students.
They're just people, they don't matter.
Yeah.
Only billionaires matter.
Yeah, exactly. As long as they have as long as they don't have a real bank balance, they don't exist. Sad state of affairs, man. Humanity's terrible sometimes.
Like I saw this, it was this meme. It was just like they're keeping you focused on a culture war so that you don't start a class war. And I'm like, I'm not one who likes memes, but like I don't want to take my political stance from memes, but I mean, in this case, I'm kind of like, valid point.
That's a pretty communist meme, though. I do like that meme, but
it is a pretty. That's my thing. I was like, Marx, is this you? And I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I just have one of my friends who's like, he likes Marxism but hates communism. And I'm like, okay. So I just sent it to him. I'm like, this is up your alley.
Yeah.
You can laugh at this without feeling guilty.
I actually reposted that, and my cousin goes, since when do you post about communism? So I'm like, no, it's not like that. So, like, obviously, I'm like always so against fighting about. And it was very confused. I'm like, don't worry.
You'll get it one day. It's like this other meme where it's like a bunch of kids and the teacher is like, what class do you have the most trouble with? And Karl Marx is like, the middle class. It's just like, yeah.
Sorry, 1 second here. I'm just trying to take care of too many things at once. It's just, some days things happen. There was a question here for yourself, Brit. In the 2 years that you've been over there fighting now, what changes have you seen from the beginning to now, military wise or, anything in general, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the great advances in technology, closer ties, seeing who the real ones are, particularly if I can say that in Europe, the countries that will support and be by our side. Patriotism has always been strong. Particularly national identity has really been realized. And I mean, all these things are going to advance, and Ukraine will be the powerhouse of Europe.
Well, definitely the technological powerhouse. All the advances with the drones and everything else that's going on in Ukraine. The rest of the world is years behind at this point. So we need to make sure and support Ukraine so we can learn from Ukraine after this is over.
I think another aspect that isn't considered by a lot of people is how much what I would call diffuse industry or cottage industry has become a major factor. Because, a large factory is a great target for the Russians to hit. So by necessity, Ukraine has had to, parcel out a lot of their industry to small, in some ways, almost home-based production, which is then integrated into a larger. And I think that offers a big possibility for the future for other countries that can figure out how to adapt to that kind of model.
It's just not being a easy target, really. I think that's the main task.
Yeah.
I just having to restart a browser here because, oh man, some of my software is just going crazy. There is a few more questions I want to get to. We're starting to push it on time a bit. I'm very much in a parenting mode here today as well, so I can only go so far. Okay.
I wanted to address something that I've seen a number of people, it was directed at me in the chat stream, but I think it's worth asking this question about Tulsi Gabbard as the, I believe it's intelligence director is this slot she's been nominated for, and whether she's likely to get approved. And unfortunately, I think there's a strong chance that she will be approved for that position.
Wow.
She lacks qualifications, and she and her family have definitely been doing some business deals which make her running that branch of government very suspect in terms of, auctioning off intelligence operation information to the highest bidder kind of thing. But the problem we're dealing with is with this administration, everybody has to obey in lockstep manner what directives come down from the orange shit gibbon. And, if he says she's my choice, they're all going to say, aye, aye, Captain.
Yeah.
The interviews I read that weren't going really well, like really bad.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I saw some of it, and yeah, it's terrible. But the fact is, I don't think there are enough Republicans who have the cojones to stand up and say, no, she's not the person for this job, without angering the big boss.
Right.
That's one thing that just doesn't make sense. Like
I know.
I mean, I don't need to tell you guys, but
they're right choices, they're wrong choices, and then they're holy shit choices. And this one's at the far end of the holy shit scale, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, as it pertains to intelligence and whatnot, I could see her biggest role being strapped to the tip of a rocket to see if it changes anything to do with aerodynamics, and then you're done. I mean, it's about the smartest thing she's going to bring to the fucking table. Well, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Let's see here.
Anybody does.
Yeah. And Brit, I wonder, do we have Brit back? I think we sort of do. It's these, I don't know. Today, there's just such connection issues for a few of us. What are you going to do? It's crazy.
Mercury retrograde.
Yeah. Very much. I'll give Brit a second here because I think he's like half in the room, kind of trying and stuff. Yeah, like my whole thing's just falling apart over here. I've had to restart 2 of the browsers. I think OBS is literally about to shit the bed and just bring the whole thing to its knees anyway, right? I don't know what's going on today. It's not like I have a weak computer or anything, What are you going to do? But I did want to get just to mention, like, Brit's also a guitar player and a musician and stuff. And, that's something right up my alley. So I was hoping to get to that. But I guess we'll just have to have him on next week as well, maybe. What the hell, right? We're at 1:35, hour 35. We've been live. We're coming up on 1:45 p.m. Pacific. So I'm getting kind of tight on time. Maybe what we should do is a little roundtable wrap up, say our little goodbyes and stuff, and hopefully Brit gets in. Hey, Brit, you're in. Are you there? All right. Hold on here. I think we've got him back, but I just have to fix a thingy here. Almost. And survey says, I think we should have him in a second here. Come on, OBS, video, whatever is seriously crap in the bed right now. You can do it for us. Come on. I'll try one more time here just to give it a quick kick in the ass in the background. Sorry, everybody. Hold on. What are you gonna do? Refresh. There we go. Will it bring it in?
I'm sorry. It's just normal.
Hey, there you are. Okay, we're in. All right. Good. Awesome. So we're just getting into our wrap-up mode here, Brit. My time's running short, and so we better, if you're free next Saturday, join us in again. It'll be fun. So one last shout-out here. A huge thanks to everybody who's donated to Brit, and a huge thanks for everybody who's going to be donating coming up. Let's see if we can't get this fundraiser wrapped up for them here.
Obviously, thank you all, guys. It really does help.
Very much so. Brit, in case you have issues, since you got a good connection right now, I'll go to you first here for thoughts and wrap-ups and goodbye messages and all that stuff.
Use the good connection while I have it. Yeah, so just to repeat, I really do appreciate all the help. And not just financially, support, just for your heart being in the right place with this country and for this awful time, to be honest. No, not just me, but amongst millions and thousands of other people, we all really, truly appreciate you. And I couldn't word it any more honestly than that.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Let's turn beside you there. Jana, what do you think?
Yeah, just always thanks for having me on. Thank you for supporting us. Sorry that I haven't been paying attention the last minute. Helena's doing declarations and she's like, I'm missing one of the cars or the paperwork for the car. The car's been delivered. The car's on the front. Everything's awesome. We're looking at like, where's the paper?
Uh-oh.
So, and we have different spreadsheets keeping track of everything. So
check in the Lego bucket.
Yeah.
It usually ends up there.
But yeah, so we are still going. We're still fundraising. We bought another 20 FPVs.
Nice.
It's expensive.
You would know you're spending a lot of money on them.
Upwards here of 11,000 euros.
Wow.
It is quite a bit of money. But yeah, thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Slavie, you're up. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone that keeps checking out the live streams, the Ukrainian content. Thank you so much. It's been, really great. Thank you to the team in the back of the Shills, and thank you to my moderators in my chat. We had a couple of MAGA and Vatniks come in, so you guys did a great job. And keep supporting Ukraine, keep talking about Ukraine, keep sharing Ukrainian stories, news. Lots of propaganda is coming. I'm going to have a new video coming out next week. Most likely it'll be about how Russia is using disinformation to destroy America. It's not nuke threats, it's not anything else, but it's disinformation and propaganda. So make sure to tune into that. And just thank you so much. Thank you for supporting Ukraine. Slava Ukraine.
Slava. Great words. Commander, your turn, buddy. What do you think?
My usual, telling everybody, please communicate with your elected officials, email, text, write letters, phone calls, telling them that Ukraine is important to you and you want to continue to see support going that way. I honestly believe that's one of the reasons we may be seeing the incoming administration being less obviously, pro-Putin than before, because so many of the congressional people and Senate people have been under pressure from their constituencies, and it's that pressure that will help keep it favorable for us. So I urge people to do that. And I also think that the fact that so much is changing globally, not just within Russia itself, but globally for Russia's position with the loss of Syria, with the fact that the BRICS organization seems to be kind of wobbly and everything. I think all that is a favorable indicator for where things may be headed in the future.
Good call. Good call. Yeah, let's switch over to Canti, our Our second other, I'm not sure where to take that guest today. Remember to jump over and check his channel out on YouTube as well. And yeah, Canti, what do you think, pal?
Oh, I'll end up with saying the same thing I usually say at the end of all my streams. My favorite Ukrainian saying, "Razom do переможемо." Roughly translates to "Together we will win." And we have to be together. Russia's trying to divide us, make us fight each other. We have to stay together.
Good words, man. Good words. I want to give a big shout out to the team, just like Slavie did there. Our team does so much work for us in the background. You have no idea. We got Annette who runs the teams around here. We got PJ CNET who runs our news team. We got Shana who's mostly on the Shills account these days. You see her all the time. Janine Terblanche, Chris Lundy, Liam Wakefield, Blum, Bombsheller, and Super Chat Matt. So thank you, everybody, you orc slaying sons of bitches, you. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's donating, supporting, spreading the word, like, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Everything we can do together to raise awareness, help raise funding, and make sure that everybody's eyes are on the prize, and that is a free and sovereign Ukraine. They're all their lands back. I think I've wrapped everything up. Tomorrow, we've got another Roundtable Ukraine show at noon Pacific, and the people from Car for Ukraine are coming over. Probably see like Andrew Mercado and Rick the Ukrainian, and we might have Jonathan Fink in from Silicon Curtain, and just some of the group that are doing this fundraiser coming up. We still don't even know who's going to be here, but you better be there, so you find out who's going to be there. On that note, let's turn to Brit, and he can have the last words of the show. What do you think, pal?
Sure, why not? Any more questions for me? Or
I think at this point, we better pretty much just say a lovely goodbye to everybody and hit the button because, yeah, parenting calls, and I'm almost in trouble.
Understood. Yeah, no, honestly, I just wanted to say thank you, Shills, thank you to the Shills team, and thank you to the audience. I love you all, guys, and you're the best. Thank you.
Great words. See you soon, everybody. Slava Ukraine.
I'm Slava.
I'm Slava.
Ukraine,
It's over. Go home. Go.